Hi, welcome to another video. This is Mr. Chow from EnglishTuition.org. In today's video, we are going to talk about what's the difference between memorizing English versus mastering English, right? And as I go through the video, just run through the ideas and think about which camp you belong to, right? Are you learning English through the memory way, the memorization way, or are you aiming to be a true master of the language? All right, let's find out. So this is the entire objective for today's video. All right, we want to learn what's the difference between memorization versus mastery. What are the differences between the two? Okay, and then finally we are able to answer the question, which camp do you belong to? Okay, you may be surprised, so watch till the end of the video. So let's start with memorization. Okay, now if you are learning English through memorization, for example, you're picking up new vocabulary, you will need to depend, right, to a certain extent, your memory. So let's start with a word of the day, right? The word of the day we are going to use for the purpose of today's video is lollygag. Okay, I'm not sure if you have heard of the word before, lollygag, right? So I think this is a fun word to introduce, right, to the viewers. So now lollygag, if you go up, if you go into the dictionary and search out for the meaning, this is what you're going to find, right? Lollygag means to spend time aimlessly, okay, or to be idle, right? In other words, you are just maybe wandering around, not having any purpose, and you're wasting time. Okay, so that is the definition that is spelled out by the dictionary. Okay, so then students go to memorize how to spell and pronounce the word, right? And some students don't even know how to pronounce the word, right? And they just look up the information on the internet. Lollygag means to spend time aimlessly, and they memorize the meaning, and that's it. All right. Now, some students, at least, okay, they take a little bit of extra effort to press on the speaker icon, all right, and then they pick up the pronunciation, which is lollygag. Okay, and now you know how to spell and you know how to pronounce the word, right? And this can be done through memorization. So does that mean you have mastered the word, right? And that's the end for a lot of students. So
whoops, there it goes. Yep, my brain stopped.
If that's the way you pick up new vocabulary, then you belong to the camp of memorization, right? You try to approach the language with your memory, okay? You try to master the language just by relying on your memory, okay? And later on, okay, I'll try to elaborate further. This approach actually may not work well, because nowadays school test exam, they need students to be able to comprehend, okay, and really look at the context instead of just knowing how to spell and knowing how to pronounce the word. So you can write the word, you can speak the word, but you don't really understand what it means.
What are you talking about?
You have not mastered the word. All right. So how does mastery looks like? Okay, so from the slide, okay, just the think, is that you, right? If not, just move on to the next slide. Now, mastery, what does that look like? Now, we can use a mastery approach to learn new vocabulary. So again, we use the same word, lollygag, right? And same definition, right? That's a good starting point, right? To learn about the meaning from the Google search or whatever AI chatbot you are using. Okay, nowadays you have so many tools, right? Or electronic dictionary, okay? And straight away you notice, right? Now, instead of just looking at the meaning, you also pay attention to the word form, which is that lollygag is a verb, right? According to the search results, all right? So you started with memorizing how to spell and pronounce the word, but you also notice that it's a verb, and therefore that means that it also has tenses. So does that mean if you write the past tense, right? How do you spell the past tense? Do I just add an ed? Do I double up the g behind? Or is the past tense the same spelling, right? So if you stop at just the spelling and the pronunciation, okay, then you have not learned how to use the word, all right? So now at least you are able to pick up all the verb and the tenses, all right? But you do not just stop there, all right? Here's an example of how the word is being used as a verb. We went to the beach to lollygag. Right, as we know, after the preposition to, we tend to use a verb. So yeah, it can be used this way, right? And you're able to form the sentence and that contains, right, your intended meaning. Okay, so that's the first step to mastering the word. Okay, and we want to practice a little bit more. Now we form another sentence by adding a tense to it. Okay, we lollygagged at the beach, right? So we form the past tense and the participle form by adding the GED to the end of the word. Okay, we also look up the different word forms, right? So lollygag can be used as a verb. Can it be used as a noun? Well, if you make a search for it, right, you will discover that you can actually use the word lollygagger, right, or even just use the word lollygag as a noun itself. So the word lollygag can also function as a noun, even though it has the same spelling. All right, and you also learn that we do not have an adverb or adjective form for this particular word. So now we learn a lot more about the word itself, isn't it? Instead of just the spelling and the pronunciation. Okay, and then we continue to practice, right? Here's an example sentence of using the word lollygag as a noun, right? The students are known for their lollygag. So since it's a noun, it can belong to someone or somebody, right? In this case, we use the possessive pronoun. They are in front of the noun lollygag. Okay. Quick question, right? It's not presented in the slide. So since it's a noun, do you think lollygag is used in the singular form or the plural form? In other words, is it considered a countable noun or uncountable noun? All right. If you are aiming to really master the word, then you should find out the answer for yourself. All right. Okay. That's not the end, right? We also want to pay attention to the context when we use this word. So a lot of students just pick up the meaning and they don't pay attention to the context. So when they form sentences, the words are used in the incorrect context. Okay, so that does not equal mastery. Okay, and you actually lose marks for that. You get penalized. Okay, because the words are being used in the wrong context. So lollygag is typically used in situations when people are idling or just wasting time. Now, that will give you a lot of confidence to use the lollygag in your writing or your speaking, because you have had all that practice, right? All those example sentences that we have given in the previous couple of slides, and you have formed multiple sentences in the verb form, in the noun form, and we already know it doesn't have an adverb or an adjective. All that knowledge will give you the confidence to use the word in your oral and in your essay. Okay, so when I talk about mastery, okay, learning the language, and in this video, okay, of course, I slow down the learning a bit because this is video format. Actually, you can actually go quite fast when you're learning new words. But bear in mind that we don't just stop at the spelling and the sounds, right? If you want true mastery, and it does take a little bit of time to look at the examples, to look at the context, to really learn more about the words, and you see how many additional steps that we have taken in order for a student to master just one word. All right, so do not underestimate the process of vocabulary building. If you are picking up a book, reading a storybook, and there are new words, don't just look up the meaning and learn how to say the word. You also want to pay attention to the example sentences, how the word is being used in the particular storybook, right? You also want to look at examples given together with your internet search. All right, take a look at a few examples and maybe even try to form your own sentences, right? You don't have to write them down. You can just try to speak them. All right, speak those. Try to form sentences by speaking. Okay, so all that practice will help you pick up a lot of new words along the way. And if you adopt this process, then I think you can claim that you are on your way to become a master of the subject, right? So we are not just here to memorize and memorize and memorize and memorize all the time. Okay, it's more than that. We want to be a true master. We want to be a master of the language, so that when it comes to using the language, all right, you know exactly what to do. All right, so with that said, we have come to the end of the video. So I have a little reward for you. You have mastered a new word. So here's a lollipop for you for learning the new word lollygag. Okay, so after you have finished the celebratory dance, if you are interested in mastering English, And if you want to sign up for lessons, just visit EnglishTuition.org for more details. And do remember to leave a like and a subscribe if you find this video useful, so that you'll be notified for future videos. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.